this video, I primarily want to talk about Patrick Ta's eyeshadow duos and the various alternatives that we may already have in our collections that we can use to achieve a similar look. I also want to discuss a little bit about salespeople speak, how this product has been promoted and so far still is being promoted, and how you can make sure that you actually buy what you're going to use instead of buying into the salespeople speak. Topper-like glittery eyeshadows have been quite popular this season. In fact, there is other new makeup that has similar formulas, which I will get to in a bit as well. If you want me to keep making content like this, subscribe and watch till the end. I'm pretty sure you'll get some good recommendations out of this. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the product itself. There are a few things that I wanted to mention here before we get into the alternatives. In my last video, I talked about differentiating between salespeople speak versus what a normal person would say or think about a certain product. And I've been seeing videos of content creators who are either affiliated with the brand or want to be in the good graces of the brand, or maybe are hoping for future sponsorships. Obviously, they will speak in certain terms, and I want to highlight what I've been hearing. And I also want to encourage you as a consumer to think beyond that and whether or not you should care as a consumer about the claims they're making. The first thing that they're saying is, this is a baked formula. As a consumer, why would you care how it was produced? Are baked formulas always better than non-baked ones? Is that always the case? I've seen that's not the case. Why should you care if this was a baked formula, or if it was stir-fried in a wok, or it was cooked in a cauldron like a potion? Why should you care? The answer is you don't care as a consumer. And if you do, maybe you're taking the sales speak a little too seriously. Which is fine, but if you want to be a mindful consumer like the journey I'm on right now, I would encourage to think about the utility of the product to you and not how it was produced. Because production and manufacturing is the business person's concern, not yours as a consumer. Next, from the brand owner himself and the salespeople that are being paid to promote this, I've been hearing these are pure pearl. There's no filler. Now, right now it's pure pearl, but I'm willing to bet that as time progresses in this industry, there will be a claim of crushed diamonds, or if it's a green color, crushed emeralds, or crushed rubies. I know that they don't mean it literally, but why don't we call it as it is? It's a pigment. It's a glittery pigment. Let's keep things simple. These are some psychological tactics that brands and salespeople use to get you to really buy into the hype and maybe buy things you don't need. Next is, this is made in Italy. Now, if you weren't aware, Italy is a country, and countries are large spaces of land, and they have cities and they have provinces. If they had mentioned that this product was made in a certain lab in Italy or a certain factory, maybe that would have given it some credibility. But made in Italy, why does that matter to the consumer? Why should you care where it's made? This is something that a lot of influencers have been trying to push to the people. Why should the consumer become an amateur detective and figure out, okay, where was this made? Where was this produced? Does it mean it's good? Does it mean it's bad? Why should the consumer care about this? This is what the influencers care about, or the brand, in terms of building its perception. The brand cares about this. You as a consumer should only care about the product's utility for you. For example, how can I smack this on my eye? Will it look good if I smack this on my eye? That should ideally be the concern of the consumer, not where it was made, how it was produced, whether it's pearls or it's diamonds. Also, another point about made in Italy. The two biggest manufacturing economies of the world are China and the US. They have more resources and a longer history to have developed to the point where they can really produce excellent quality stuff. So if something is made in China or made in the US, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or it's good. It should mean nothing to the consumer, at least. Something made in Italy could be utter garbage, and something made in US or China could be utter garbage, but the location does not determine the quality, because these locations are large pieces of land with lots of cities, lots of people, lots of factories, and lots of possibilities within manufacturing. So dismiss this. Where it was made is not your concern. The first and simplest alternative that I would point you to is some pressed glitters from ColourPop. Now, ColourPop has come a long way with their pressed glitters. They are called a pearlescent glitter formula, I believe, and it's quite good if you want that sparkle. It will be a little bit more than some pressed shadows, but you are going to get that same glittery effect. And just because the influencers you watch say that they hate glitters doesn't mean you have to. I think glitters are cool, and if they are safe to use around the eye, I would say go for it, because personally I like a very glittery look. I would even put glitter on my cheeks. Sure, the application and the removal might be a little bit tricky, but otherwise it looks good. Of course, these glittery shadow duos aren't going to be your everyday makeup look either. I have a bunch of these options in front of me, but I'm going to put one on the eye and demonstrate that it can look just as nice. There is this one in California Love, this one from Alice in Wonderland, a couple of these in the All That palette, a few gold ones in the Good as Gold palette. There's, I believe, the green and the pink from the Holidays palette. There's this one from Hocus Pocus 2. I'm going to put this on the eye. There is this one, and this blue one from the BT21 Bon Voyage palette. I'm not saying go buy these, but if you have these lying around, you can find a pressed glitter that will work really well. Let's put the one from Hocus Pocus on the eye. I'm going to use my Bella Beauté Bar Shimmer Stay for this. This is a step that you need to do if you want your glitter to last, but I think quite a few of the glitters that come in palettes are self-adhering. Okay, this glitter is excellent. There is no fallout, as you can see, and the shimmer stay really helps lock it in place. I kind of want to try another one. I feel like this one doesn't have much of a base, which is what I was going for, but I kind of want to try another one. Let's try something pink. This is from the Holidays palette from ColourPop. This has like a multi-chrome shine to it as well. It's like a pink in the pan, but the green gold on application. And a slight tealy blue as well. I'm really packing it on. It has a transparent base as well, but you can see how glittery it looks. I like these. No one's gonna change my mind about how pressed glitter is so bad. If you want glittery shadows, next up is the Adept Minka palette. I'm sure this is not a very low-priced palette, but you do get a bunch of these more or less neutral tones in all these colors. There's light platinums, golds, browns, cool toned bronzes, warm toned bronzes. There's a warm silver, there's a gray blue, and there are two kind of pinky shades and a greenish gold. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. And let me show you how glittery these are exactly. First, let's do some swatches. These are not really sparkle, they are very glittery. And if you use a light hand, you can do that wash of glitter. These are a few of the swatches, and look at the glittery, sparkly goodness. Let's just try one on the eyes. The good thing about these is you can build them up or you can share them out. They can go from a slight wash of sparkle to full-on metallic. Let's do a slight wash of sparkle. Okay, I think this is excellent. I don't think I'll need to reach into any other palette or eyeshadows if I'm craving some glittery stuff. Apparently, depth shadows are easy to wash off as well because I just took these off with a dry washcloth and look at this. Almost nothing there. Pretty cool. Another place that you might look in is your highlighter drawers. Highlighters used to be very glittery in the past, and then they turned to more of a metallic finish. And now highlighters are at a point where they need to look natural because that is what's trending. So just go back into the past a little bit. Pick out some highlighters that you maybe forgot about because they were too glittery and weren't on trend. Let's first talk about the Fenty Beauty ones. Now, these are the older highlighters. The recent ones that they launched are very natural looking. Now, I have these in two colors. This is Trophy Wife, and I also have What a Brat. Let's swatch these. These are quite sparkly. The sparkle is quite fine actually, and they have a little bit of a base, which the Patrick Ta duos have as well for some colors. But these can look really nice on the eyes. Let's do a demo, shall we? Also, FYI, the ColourPop glitter wasn't too bad to take off either. I just used a small cotton round and some eye makeup remover, and there, it's gone. There is almost no glitter around the eye area. Just very minimal. Okay, let's do some Water Brat on the eyes. The pink one. Let's diffuse that sparkle. It can build up to be pretty metallic, but it does have those glitter particles in there, which we used to say that wasn't a good look for a highlighter, but maybe it's what we're looking for now. Let's do Trophy Wife as well. These are fine, sparkly particles. Next up, let's look at some highlighters that don't have such a fine sparkle, which is this one. If you have one of these lying around, use them on the eyes. No one's gonna judge you. This is the Jeffree Star Extreme Frost. Let's smack it on the eyes. Of course, as with any product, make sure that it's safe for using on the eyes because sometimes face products may not be safe for the eyes. That being said, let's smack this on. This is quite a pinky shade. These highlighters lack a base color, so it makes them suitable for that all over sparkle kind of look. In case you didn't know, the Too Faced holiday palettes, there's two of them. They also have some really nice glittery topper shades, which I didn't get because I'm not really into the topper shades. I prefer more opaque, colorful applications. I didn't get them, but for someone who is into those kind of things, they are actually 39 Canadian dollars and they have what, 5 shades, I think, which is not the worst price comparing with other things that are coming out. If you're looking to buy something new, I would say maybe look into those. If you remember from the olden days, there used to be these Cover FX drops. These have a nice glittery finish, so they may not have been the best highlighters, but they actually will look quite nice on the eyes. Let me demonstrate. This is a blue one, and it's very nice and glittery. It has a little less sparkle than I expected. But that's okay because it's still glittery enough to not be perfect as a highlighter. These are called glitter drops, so makes sense. If you're looking for something at the drugstore, I have this highlighter from Kimchi Chic Beauty. This is called Pearl Gone Wild PGW01 Hope, whatever that means. But this is quite glittery, so it's not the most perfect highlighter, but it could give you that glittery eyeshadow look. This is also like a duochrome, multi-chrome kind of situation. Like a pink to a purple to a blue. So that's kind of cool. It's a little bit more glittery than the Cover FX glitter drops, so take a look. And last, there was something I drudged up from the dusty corners of my brain, and that is this. This highlighter by Unearthly Cosmetics. It's called Twilight. I think it's still available on their website, but this is supposed to be that skin of a killer Bella kind of vibe. I think that's why they call it Twilight. I'm not sure if there's a connection there. This is one of those sparkly topper like, but this again was too glittery for me to be a highlight, so I want to try it on the eyes and see if this can mimic that look of that dispersed sparkle. It is very low key. So if you're into something super subtle, maybe you're wearing a black matte underneath or a dark brown matte, this could really pop. It's so subtle, it's not translating as well on camera, but it is very pretty. Because I am guessing the target audience for this kind of eyeshadow look is not someone who's into full glam colorful stuff, so maybe this could work. Let's talk about this palette for a minute. It came out in 2023 and it's very much my aesthetic, so I bought this. And it's the only thing I've ever bought from Patrick Ta Beauty apart from a brow gel. I think the effect of these is going to be quite similar to the duos that were released just now. And personally, I don't think you need those if you have this. But let's try it on the eyes and see. This has 4 glittery eyeshadows. I'm going to swatch this and see if there's any similar colors to the eyeshadow duos. So there is this glitter that seems very dry. It's a pink to a gold. And I'm trying to swatch this. And this is the swatch. Do you see something? Yep, your eyes are not deceiving you. There is just nothing coming off here, so maybe we need a very strong glitter glue because it's either dried out. Let's put it on the eyes and see if that works. Let's try all 4 of these in one go. Okay, so you definitely need some glitter glue for these. And these are quite chunky. They're not fine like the ColourPop ones. There's this one that's quite silver. This one looks nice. This is this one. This is quite similar to a few that we tried earlier. And then there's this white. Very cool white, kind of a bluey white. These are nice, but as I've already demonstrated with some other options, you can get similar or even better kind of results with things that may already be in your collection. And now for the pièce de résistance. I had to bust out my singles collection here because I have a bunch of stunning holographic shades in here, which I think trumps all glittery, sparkly eyeshadows, and you will see in a minute why. You can get these at Bella Beauté Bar or some other smaller indie brand. There are lots of these, but the one I'm using, I'm not sure where it's from, but it is from an American-based indie brand. That I know for sure. Let's go. I'm trying to disperse some of that sparkle. This is beautiful, but I think I was looking for something else. Let's try another one. These truly do not translate well on camera. In terms of glitter and sparkle, I don't think anything is going to top the indie hollows or holochromes for me. So, that is just my opinion. I hope this was helpful in some way if you're looking for that glittery eyeshadow effect this season, and I hope I gave you some good alternatives. If you have some suggestions, write them in the comments and I'll be sure to check them out. And with that, I will see you next time.